Unfortunately, I have to regrettably apologize for my poor performance. The pick'ems did not deliver for me this day. Wait, I didn't even realize. I could have... Eh? Oh, never mind. I got so confused. They gave me the right... This is the most confusing way of describing this, by the way. Welcome to the pick'ems video. Welcome to the pick'ems video. Sorry for getting on my own tangent, but you know what? We don't cut that kind of stuff around this place, okay? For a second there, I was like, I could have got this if I put by real. This is the actual results, but then they're like overlaying your results on top of it. It's confusing. You can't actually. What did I put? You have to watch the video. Without the video, oh, there's a tick here. Okay, that's more of what I was expecting to see. Listen, I got betrayed. First of all, this was a one-off, and so didn't end up making anyway. So it didn't end up hurting my case that much. My problem was Ents and Fury matching up against each other really screwed me. Ents could have lost anyway, so may not have mattered, but Apex absolutely screwed me. Hero going 3-0 definitely screwed me, so I'm not in the running for the diamond coin yet again. But I have gotten one diamond coin in the past, so that means I'm better than at least some frauds out there. Anyway, stickers are out. That's not what I'm doing at the minute. Maybe I'll open a sticker, but that's not, we're not getting it twisted at the very minute. Ordinarily I wouldn't have made this video because the time limit for that being relevant is about 4 hours from when this is being recorded, but apparently the picks are still open. It's like a questionable, it's like, can I save this? It worked, I swapped them, but I'm not going to change the rest in case it messes something up because my picks are final and they're delusional, as you can see. But pick'ems, elimination stage. The winners of this stage make it to the playoffs and have a good old time attempting to get that little trophy over there. Now, it's important to also bring up what I didn't consider last time, potentially the seeding for the matchups that get played. It's something that you end up thinking about when you're thinking about this, right? You want to pick higher seeds because they're less likely to face against each other, assuming the other results also track. And so, with that in mind, my 3-0 picks are, of course, MOUZ and Spirit. Now, Spirit is the only team I can confidently put faith in to go 3-0. MOUZ is kind of a gamble pick. Every other team can lose a best of one very easily. I think if Spirit just avoid Vertigo, the only map where Donk doesn't get like 2.0 ratings, he only gets like 1.3, so that's kind of terrible for Donk standards. I'm literally not even joking, that's terrible for Donk standards. We have unreasonable expectations of this star player, but he keeps delivering. What are we supposed to do? It breaks all conventional bounds of analysis, right? At the end of the day. So, Spirit to 3-0, I think they're not going to lose a best of 3. They're going to get that one chance, they're going to lock it in. And as long as they ban Vertigo every single time, it doesn't matter what the other map is. Maybe Ancient, they can kind of be a bit close on with some teams. But still, I think you can confidently pull it through. Now, there's a whole bunch of other teams that have potentially easier first round matchups, but I don't actually believe VP are going to go 3-0. I think VP can lose the best of 1 and best of 3 to pretty much anyone. I don't have that much faith in VP's ceiling. Because VP, they might make it, but this time I'm predicting them not to make it. Because I have weird faith in C9. And we're going to get into that. First of all, Mongols. Elephant in the room. I've already lost my chance to get the diamond coin, so you can suggest, if you're going to copy my template here, replace Mongols with Na'Vi or VP. I would say VP. I'm also not really a believer of Na'Vi at the minute. But I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm saying Mongols make it. They're fresh. They're hot on the trails of a 0-2 to 3-2 comeback. They got good form right now. Better and better each match. Individuals starting to get warmed up. Senzu, he had some really bad rounds, but then he started cooking at the end. And Xenio, of course, we already know. 9-10, we're still yet to see the best. 9-10, so on and so forth. Blitz, of course, carrying. And Techno also needs to tighten up his decision making, but he can definitely do it, that's for sure. Now, that being said, out of these teams, this is the opposite side of the coin to the Mongols in the last series. In the last section here, right, I would say Mongols are the favorites. They should win in the best of 3s and the best of 1s. They can be upset. And that was indeed the case, right? Now, this time it's the other way around. Mongols, you need to win best of 1s. Because in best of 3s, if you get into a best of 3 in an elim game, unless it's a Brazilian team, because you're going to be at the Brazilian team, you could lose to Ecstatic in a best of 3. You could potentially lose to Complexity. You could lose to EF. And the rest of these, because I only named like a few teams, the rest of these are serious contenders for playoffs. Like if you put Mongols in a best of 3 against Heroic, C9, MOUZ, G2, FaZe, Vitality, Spirit even. Because apparently, you know, Spirit and Mongols played pretty close last time. And VP, Navi, like, all of these teams are very difficult to beat in best threes for Mongols. It's a mental battle as well as an actual battle in game, but that's enough for that justification. I think that if it's now or never, this is a semi-serious pick if you're not me and you're not delusional or somebody else, but I'm putting them in here because I do believe that they can do it. FaZe, they're not going to go 3-0 in my opinion. First of all, their matchup in the best of one, Heroic, they could easily lose that one. And I still believe they're going to make playoffs. I see no reason. With the previous lineup, you could probably suggest it, but I think Frozen is going to be enough to like pick up the slack in kind of dull moments because he's been a bit of a group stage player, you know, being on Mouse for so long. So he's got that energy which other people on FaZe may still lack because they got all those vets, they got that experience. It doesn't necessarily lend itself towards group stage performances. They're a stage team or whatever, but it's important to note that now they have a young player like Frozen who can perform in the group stage. Heroic, in my opinion, Heroic are a very, very good team. Nikodos is still, jury is out. In my opinion, I think the jury returned a guilty verdict for fraud. Nikodos. But listen, there's still a small chance that he could return to CS2 form, but his AWPing like mechanics, I've just not been impressed yet, but rifling is pretty good, and overall tactics and calling, I think Heroic in best of threes could actually beat like pretty much every team in this bottom half, and half of these teams appear fairly convincingly. Their opening matchup, you know, they can stand to win some of that as well. I believe in Heroic more than I believe in VP, in my opinion. VP, they're kind of cold into coming into this as well, and I place a bit more faith in some teams coming in hot, you know, 3-0. I'm putting both of the teams that went 3-0 in, surprisingly enough, and a team that went 3-2 in. So I'm putting a lot of faith in last major stage form carrying forward, momentum. It's important because it's back-to-back days. People don't realize this. Back-to-back days. Usually there's a day gap. There might be a 2-day gap. Back-to-back days. I say it again. The form for the major actually can carry over. It's as if for these teams that have been here the whole time, it's as if you're going through essentially seamlessly, whereas like Mao's, Spirit, Vitality, they're flying in. They have to get used to it. It's a mental battle as well as a physical battle. Well, it's not physical in the slightest, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I believe in Heroic. G2. This is me banking on m0NESY carrying, because frankly I think m0NESY is better than pretty much everybody else here except for Donk, right? And you could say ZywOo, but jury's out. Jury's not out. ZywOo's number one player right now, but still, I'm banking a lot on m0NESY. It's not a high pressure situation yet. Now you could say it's pressure because they really have not been. I don't even think has m0NESY's not been to a playoff of a major, right? But I think now is the kind of time where he has a lot of confidence in himself to be able to carry the game. He's gonna have a few chances to be able to do so. I think Nico can have one good map. I'm allowing him to have one good map. I'm the mandate of Nico. You can have one good map to take him to playoffs. Even though I'm a bit of a hater because they cut JKS and I'm Australian, right? That's my man. I'm legally obligated to hate them now, of course, but that aside, I think they're a good base level to make playoffs right now. Because, in my opinion, like G2 could win best of ones. Like, who's the opening matchup? Furia. They win against Furia, in my opinion. Although Furia is coming in hot, I don't think they're coming in that hot. Like, they're too scrappy, in my opinion. And so, that's why I'm not putting them 0-3, but Furia is not going to go. They're not that good in the first place. You know what I mean? So that's my take on G2. I don't have a strong case to make for, like, next Hooksy or whatever in the first place. I'm not really for it, but, you know, it's going to be good enough is what I'm trying to bank on. Vitality is also a case of it's going to be good enough. You can suggest ZywOo make a 3-0 team. I don't believe so. Now, their opening matchup, Vitality, is against EF. EF is... The way they played put me a little bit more down on this team. They scraped by, and I see no reason for them to get significantly better, because it's not that they're ramped up. In a way, they ramp down. They go worse. And that's just not impressing me so much. And they're going to have to fight a really hard test. ZywOo can carry in this kind of stage. ZywOo, by the way, has at least won a major. he knows he can perform at the major despite being against, you can say the playoffs are terrible, you can say that they didn't have the best possible run they could have, but fact of the matter is you can look yourself in the mirror before you go in the game. You're in the damn hotel toilet, you're saying to yourself in the mirror, I've won a major, I can do this, it's this easy, and you can do it. Nico can't do that. He can look, he can see Kato, he can see Cologne, but then he can't see the major, and it's actually a mental struggle at that point, in my opinion. So that's part of why I think Vitelli's got a bit more of a winner's mentality, at least for this opening stage. I don't know if they're going to win it necessarily. You'd have to see a bracket draw for that. I don't think they're the favorite in any case. But I still think it's enough. Despite some liabilities, Mezzi and perhaps a bit of Flames. Mezzi definitely a liability at the minute, out of anyone on this team, but it's not so much of a problem for playoffs, in my opinion. And C9 is a bit of a rogue pick from me, but honestly, I hate to say it, but they're actually playing kind of okay. Like, obviously the riflers on this team have potential. Axel's not showing that potential, that's clear. I don't think he's going to get better, but he's not like 0.9. He's like 1.05x kind of rated player. I didn't check, but I'm going to assume it. And when you have a cohesive rifler system, sometimes you can get away, at least in these kind of situations. I think if once they make it to playoffs, all bets are off. I think that even you can say they're a stage team, they don't have an AWP in that situation, they will just get outplayed. Like any team that also makes it to playoffs matches up against them on stage. Like even MongolZ could be this quote unquote experienced major winners lineup in C9 just because they have, a good base system, you can put some good utility forward, get some setups which punish not having an AWP, put pressure on the stage as well. It can go both ways. If you're supposed to be a stage team and you don't perform, it can sometimes backfire. But that being said, I still think the form has been enough to make it through to this next playoffs. So before we go into 0-3, I think it's important to kind of touch on the teams that we didn't put in here, right? Simply put, Na'Vi, I think Na'Vi is a 2-3 team in my opinion. Opening match against TheMongolz, I have TheMongolz winning it, me personally, but it could go either way, that's fair. But I think Na'Vi could lose against like almost anybody, in my opinion, except maybe Ecstatic. I think Ecstatic don't have the individuals to punish, but everybody else kind of has some strong individuals to punish, right? Furia could beat Na'Vi, I hate to say it, but it's true. Furia's individuals, like Quesarado, could outfrag everybody on Na'Vi and win, even in a best of 3. Like, it would have to be a 2-0, because I don't think they have the fortitude in Furia's team, maybe, to go 2-1. Depends on the outcome, of course, but that's a bit too in-depth of things, but that's just my opinion. I think Ema, I've been high on Ema for a little while. I was coping, I was saying like he can make it, he can bring it back, but when the writing's on the wall, sometimes you have to sell. And maybe I'm selling too early. Maybe this is the major Ema back again. But CS2's not been kind to him yet. His decision making, his role, everything is changing, and it's not been settled properly yet. JL is still sort of, he's okay, and he should stay just for the vibe of the team, because otherwise the vibe of the team would not be very positive. I think it would be a bit more depressing if he wasn't there. But everything else, like Wonderful is great, but alone Wonderful especially is not gonna be able to do that much. And then, I still have my doubts about how the system works necessarily. Not that the calling is necessarily bad by Alexa being played, but I think the way that they see this team has to be played, the way that they believe that Na'Vi should play can actually back them into a corner sometimes, because they don't have individuals, so they want to play team-based, and then if they play team-based but they don't have people who can make on-the-fly decisions, and CS2 is kind of carrying on from the CSGO meta. It's on-the-fly decisions, it's individuals knowing where to go, what to do, and Ima and JL, do they know where to go, what to do at this current moment in time in CS2? I don't know, I don't think so. Not as much as some of the other teams that I see over here do. VP, I'm just not high on them. I think they could easily just go 1-3. They could win like their opening game, because their opening game is Imperial, and they could just win it and then lose the next one against like a fairly decent team, and then just go down 1-2. They get served like a best of 3 against C9 and lose it, and then it's kind of, you're left wondering like, okay, we didn't have great expectations for them, but we also didn't expect them to be terrible. But there's a lot of good teams here. Some teams have to miss out at the end of the day. Now, you could put them in here I think it's fair to suggest Navi or VP don't go in and Mongols don't. I mean, come on, right? That's a reasonable take to make. But I think VP especially have. I'm not yet. So I think that one change away. I think Mer can still, like, he's still kind of in and out of the system. And in the first place, I don't know what the system is right now. You know what I mean? I don't know how James is planning to run, like, because he's been adapting and changing how the team plays. And I don't know if it's to their benefit, right? Because I think they're trying to give up on their old style and trying to run like a slightly modified version. They're playing a bit more fast in certain rounds, but maybe it detracts from them, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? But I don't have that much faith in them compared to, like, even G2. I think still have more faith because I think they're going to be a little bit more individually prepared. I don't know how much, like, I mean, listen, Norbert has actually been cooking. Flit is, of course, a great rifler, so on and so forth, but I don't know. This is just a gut feeling. I don't think VP are actually going to be that good. Complexity, I just don't believe in Complexity. Elite is the only great player on that team. Ozak is okay. He's like Nikodos plus, you know, he's a bit of bonus Nikodos, you could say. Grim and Floppy, I've never been high on them for like a year now. The last time I was believing in them was like way back in when they were first starting out and popping off. Nowadays I'm not so high on them. And in any case, I just don't see them making it. They're gonna have to play against some very great teams. Ecstatic, they did well to get this far. They're not gonna beat like they're not gonna beat any of these teams, in my opinion. Except I think they could beat Eternal Fire and Imperial, which is why I'm putting them down here. And I'll explain why in a little bit. Now, Pain I think is a 2-3 team as well. 1-3, 2-3. Like these guys they've shown, Pain and Fury have shown some decent individual form. Pain has got some good tactics because Yoro is pretty good. Furio kind of, it's a bit of reliance on individual skill, of course. You have Kesarado, you'd be dumb not to rely on a bit of individual skill, but I think it would be foolish not to suggest that they don't make it. Is that the right amount of double negatives? I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs. I think when you're qualifying to the next stage, you're like, I'm still playing the major, I'm still in my hotel room, boot camp, whatever. Like, it's a chill vibe. As soon as you're about to be like, you're one match away and the arena's out there, I think Pain falls for a bit. I think Fury don't even get to that stage because they're a worse team than Pain at the minute. Just now, on current form. But they're hot, so this could age badly if Fury is like activated now, but I don't see it. I don't see the momentum helping them as much as it helped like C9 and Heroic, in my opinion. It's on fire. Their individual level play just embarrassed me a little bit. I felt a little bit. How do I say this? I don't think it was as good as they should have been performing, and that's my pure basis for this. Is that they just scraped it over the line. I think they're gonna get caught off guard with some early results, and before they're gonna blink and they're gonna be out and they're gonna be like, well, we should have been a bit more hot coming into this, but they weren't, and it is what it is, all right? And Imperial, honestly, this is like you have to choose one of these 5 teams. Like Pain, Ecstatic, Furia, Imperial, and Mongols. 2 of those 5 is most people's choices. I'm putting Eternal Fire as like a wildcard pick there. I choose Imperial. Here's my logic, right? Pain, they got young individuals. They're gonna be very hungry. They're gonna be pushing forward. Furia, they got a bit more experience and they also got some more momentum. Imperial's kind of a mix. They have some older names that we know, right? They got a bit of Vinny. They got a bit of, is it Felpera? I don't know, Phelps maybe. I don't know how you say it. But in any case, I think they're gonna be happy that they made it this far, and they're gonna lose, and they're still gonna be happy. They're gonna be like, we did good compared to what our expectations were. I think Pain is still gonna fight, and I think Furia expected more from themselves, but I think Imperial, like the level that they expected from themselves, they've already exceeded that level, and they're gonna be like, okay, well, we're fine with not going further. It's a lot of mental games that I'm playing around this entire pick'em, and I hope we won H2 badly in about 3.5 hours. But anyway, been back for brain. If you enjoyed the pickums, be sure to tell me how wrong I was, because I was wrong with the last one, so I may as well be wrong with this one. But you know what? You have to put your opinion out there to have it be respected, alright? Same thing as before. If you want to disagree with your pickums, you can't just show me a screenshot of your pickums and say you're correct. You have to provide some receipts, alright? You have to provide some justification. Explain yourself, because I explained myself, so that puts me a little bit above base level criticism. I'm just saying. You gotta put it out there properly, and then you can come at me for putting mine out there properly and getting it wrong. If you explained it right and I explained it and I'm wrong, you're better. I'll bow down, but you have to be correct. Anyway, enjoy.